Most of the problem are either execution based problem or the operation based problem.
If money is coming to my bank, then I have to pay tax on it, right?
Correct. But since you are doing these expenses to meet your work needs, government already has a provision. You are coming in 20% of tax bracket. So you can straightforward save 4,000 rupees on it.
But I may have different need, he may have a different need, and it's customizable for me.
Hello, and a warm welcome to another episode of Desi Fire Podcast. On this channel, we talk about financial independence and early retirement. But there are two things that no one can save you from. One of them is death, and the other one is taxes. Today, I have two young entrepreneurs with me, Manas and Dev. So, welcome Manas, welcome Dev, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Edda sir.
Thank you, Handa, for inviting us
You started Prosperr in 2022.
to. Right.
And I believe Manas was telling me that you guys raised funding in end of
23, December 23.
December 2023. So must have been, how much did you raise?
So 1.5 million in pre-seed.
$1.5 million in pre-seed.
Yeah.
And are you guys planning to raise more?
Of course, since the problem statement is larger, and this particular problem is not just restricted to India, it's a global problem to solve. And of course, once you are solving the problem by a product, it's an expensive business to be. So of course, it required a capital, but of course the capital should justify the ROI, unlike just burning those money and you are not getting something out. So yeah, we are very cautious about how we burn money, but yeah, definitely we need to raise capital to build something of massive scale, and it may be sustainable for the longer time.
Can you tell me a little bit more about what exactly does your company, Prosperr.io, I believe is
Yes.
called? What exactly does it do?
So we started always when we started Prosperr, we had a vision to impact the individual salaried people, right? Which is like a middle class, which I belong.
Individual salaried people are being impacted by the government of India as well.
Yes, very fair.
So, are you just impacting them or are you helping them?
So we are impacting in a very positive manner, right?
Oh.
So we are impacting in the sense like, so you should get more money in the pocket. That's what we need, right? And how we do is like we help salaried people save taxes on a very larger scale, right? So what we do is like we provide the allowances suit, right, to the individual employees, right, which is constituting of your 25 to 30% of your salary up to that. And we make sure like whatever expenses you are doing to meet that to do the daily work in office for the work purpose, right, those expenses are becoming non-taxable as per the government laws, right? So we our product is majorly focused towards helping you save taxes on spends you do to make the work needs, right? So that is what we are right now building, and it helps employer in a very much positive sentiment.
I'm sure most of the young listeners would not even know what benefits exist. So can you give me an example of some benefit that exists that the young employees can use?
Very fair. So when I will tell you one small thing. Like when I was in Walmart, my first company, so I used to get Flexi Benefit allowances, right? This allowances, right?
Okay.
So I'll help you understand what it is. Like let's say like as you said, like salary is 8 lakh per annum, right? Which constitutes like near to like 70K per month, right? So what used to happen in traditional market is like basic pay 50%, then HRA, and then a special allowance, right? So we convert these special allowance, let's say like 20 to 30,000 in your case, right, near to that, to a bucket of allowances which consist of 13-14 category of allowances, let's say like meal, and then petrol, conveyance, right, your communication, right, phone, internet use, right, all those things, right? And whenever you do any kind of expenses, right, we help them, you claim those expenses through our application, and help employer also auto verify the expenses, right? So that what happens like then your 20 to 30,000 become non-taxable in your salary.
If money is coming to my bank, then I have to pay tax on it, right?
Correct. But since you are doing these expenses to meet your work needs, right? Let's say you use phone for the work purpose, you use internet for the work purpose, right? You use food in office, right? Utilize food in office, right? So all these are office related needs. So government already has a provision where you can save tax. Let's say you're spending 20,000 per month, right, on these kind of things. So you can state, let's say you're coming in 20% of tax bracket. So you can straightforward save 4,000 rupees on it.
That's brilliant. I actually did not know that, so many of my expenses could be cut down. I might have saved some on taxes, but unfortunately, I have no income anymore, and that's why no taxes anymore. But I'm sure a lot of our listeners would have these. So you mean to say that if I am eating food in office and if I can give a bill of that amount, that gets reduced from my taxable income?
Correct. That's what the provision is, and that's what we are helping people with, right?
Not just with food, but also with other expenses.
Other expenses. But that's brilliant to see. If I can bring down my taxable income, then I'm saving tax on that, which in 20% or 30% brackets can be a
Game changer for any saving.
very significant amount. Manas, you were telling me that you have some big clients who are implementing this for their employees. Can you give us an example of some client?
So we have, let's say, few unicorns. One of the unicorns is LiveSpace, where we are impacting life of 5,500 people.
So you would be working with LiveSpace or some other clients. They would have thousands of employees.
Yeah. The iteration is, let's say, 500 employees. 200, let's say for the larger company, let's say 5% of the employees churns every month. It's very difficult to manage by a human being, correct? So they need a product. They need a product which integrate with their existing solution. And this is where Prosperr FBP product comes in.
FBP being?
Flexi Benefit Plan.
Acha, Flexi Benefit Plan. For those of you who might not know the jargons involved, so one of the things he mentioned was a unicorn company. A unicorn company is a startup that has raised money from the markets and now has $1 billion valuation. So this is really, really big companies that we are talking about, which are using Prosperr products. So he talked about an app and it is there. I believe, Dave, you handle the technical aspects
Right.
of the company. So can you tell us a little bit more about how does this app work, or as an employee, what do I need to do?
Correct. So the process of like claiming your expenses for the flexi allowances, right? It's very, very simple. Like you just open the app, select the category, and do the payment, upload invoice, right? That's it.
Category as in?
Category instance like food, internet, meal, and then your fuel allowances, right? A lot of allowances are there, right? So you just select like which allowances you want to claim, right? And then you proceed with the payment and upload invoice flow, right? Once you do this journey, like 3-step process, just select and then upload invoice or do the payment, right? And the moment you do this, like we have received your invoice. Now it's very, very simple at the employee end, right? We wanted to make it very, very simple for the employees to claim. And as per traditional methods, like you need to submit the bills in a month or quarter or year, right? So but we have this in real time manner. And then what happens in the background is like we have developed the AI agent, right? We are maturing it day by day. So our concept is like verification of these bills, invoices and transactions should be happening through much more than technical manner than operational manner, because like we are collecting a lot of data points for user and verifying it out. Plus, like as a traditional output, like we are not using Gen AI much because Gen AI is very, very costly in the longer run. So we are because like see, like everyone is depending on Gen AI, but it's not the need of our product. Our product need is like just build a small model, train it for few billion of parameters, and we are sorted, right?
Few billion parameters.
Few billions, right? When Gen AI made like thousands of billions of parameters.
Well, I will also like to talk a little bit about the AI agent that you guys are building. So if the invoices are there, isn't it the HR's job to approve it or reject it? What would an AI agent do in that?
So to answer this very beautifully, like I will ask you another question, right? Let's say you are a HR person, and on every month, let's say 20 to 30 between that, right, of the month, you get a lot of invoices from the employees.
10,000.
Right. Thousands of employees. What will you be feeling?
How will you verify it? It is impossible to verify by humans.
It's impossible, right? Second thing is like, even if you verify, right, just between me and you, right, how much cautious you will be with every bill. What if it is edited by people? What if it is not having the right valid GST number? What if it is handwritten, not handwritten? What if law changes, compliances changes, right? So doing all these things by human, right, is used to be the old traditional platform. Now platform is changing, world is changing, and everyone needs to be on the same pace with the technology and platform. So that is where the AI comes in picture, because AI can record, we can record multiple parameters, geolocation and all, right? And verify the authenticity of this, so that there is no compliance issue coming to the employer side, employee side in future, because everyone want to be in check, and so we are also, right?
But I do agree that there is, a lot of need for more people, especially younger people, to understand taxes better, and hopefully for companies like yours to become more popular so that it's not needed and it happens automatically, which has happened in a lot of other fields. But just tell me this. So you're talking about big companies where who can probably use your product or who can probably afford to use your product. Can a small company, let's say with a 50 employee company or a 100 employee company, also use your product or try out your product in some way?
So it's not about the size of the company. It's about the integration. Whatever the, let's say, HRMS system which you are using, okay, you can just plug in our solution and you can keep on integrating with your
Yeah, HRMS solutions will be there with big companies. But can you, so you are integrated with
64. Yeah, so we have integrated with 64 HRMS tool, which is top 64 HRMS tool in India. Okay, and if you are using any one of them, it's a integration kind of thing, and you can, let's say, suppose we can do a pilot for, let's say, 10 users for 2 months, 3 months, and if that particular feedback comes positive, then you can just roll down to the larger set of audience. Okay, so this is one of the way, and our product doesn't depend. Okay, if you have a company email ID and your company is onboarded with us, and if your company is ready to pay a very very small amount of whatever you are saving, we can do it for 50 employee or 50,000 employee. It doesn't matter to us. And we are, let's say, since we don't have any kind of physical card or any escrow account to recharge, it's become very easy for CFOs as well. It's just a invoice based system where you just keep on uploading the invoice and keep on getting those benefit in your hand.
One is about the HRMS systems that you are talking about. HRMS, what is HRMS, first of all? Because I don't know the full form. I know what it does. I don't know the full form.
So think about HRMS is, let's say, human management resource system, something, let's say, any product which manages your employees.
Okay, before that, can you give me a couple of names of some of the HRMS that you have integrated with?
Yeah, so let's take example, let's say Gritty HR, Keka, Darwin Box. There are multiple. You can keep on going. In India, it's like there are, let's say, I would say 100 HRMS company which are there in the market.
Okay, so these are India specific.
India specific. And now let's take example, let's say all those big US, let's say MNCs, they are using Workdays. We do have integration with them as well.
Fair. I wish these things existed, man. When I was earning money, I'm feeling sad about the money lost in stuff like this. So, I think we'll come towards the end of this show. And before I end, I would really like to ask you guys that, to the people watching, to the people listening, what advice would you give to people who are planning to start out and don't really have that sort of a background? So, what would you suggest, Dave? What can kids or young guys do to become an entrepreneur in India today?
Correct. So many of us like want to start a company, but what will be one suggestion to them is like, idea is not your baby. It's just a hypothesis. You need to test it out, hit the market, get the feedback, and then do the aggressive execution.
Okay. Manas, tips from you?
So as Dave said, the execution, I would say apart from execution, you need courage, and you need to make sure you have that kind of zeal, or let's say that kind of stamina to invest your 10 to 15 year building the same business. People may not believe you at this particular time, but you need to keep on going. Incremental effort each day will bring you to an outcome which you have never thought of. So this is my thing.
Fair. So courage and execution would be the things that you would need, and I do agree with them 100% that yes, ideas don't really matter that much. It is the execution that does. Yes, you need courage. You need to fight it out for a very very long period. And I hope some of you can listen to folks like Manas and they get inspired to start your own company. And if you do, you're more than welcome on my podcast next episode. With that, I'd like to end today's show. I hope you learned something, and I also hope you got inspired. Hope I earned the privilege of your time. Thank you.